In Ginza, Tokyo, a mysterious gate appears, through which mythological creatures led by men dressed in Roman armor emerge and attack the people. Youji Itami, a JSDF reservist attending a nearby doujin convention, assists the police in organizing the evacuation of civilians to the imperial palace before the JSDF arrives to stop the invaders. Itami is promoted to first lieutenant and hailed as a national hero as a result of his actions. The appearance of the gate and attack on Japanese civilians, dubbed the Ginza incident, prompts the incumbent prime minister to take action by proclaiming that Japan will send a JSDF task force backed by the US to the special region, the world beyond the gate, to not only explore the new world but also capture and demand reparations from those responsible for the attack. After 3 months of planning, the new prime minister dispatches the JSDF task force, which includes Itami, to the special region. The task force arrives to find an army waiting for them and prepares for battle. The army sent by the Empire to deal with the Japanese forces stationed at Alnus Hill, where the gate is located, is easily obliterated by the JSDF's modern artillery. Emperor Molt orders the armies of the Empire's vassal states to attack, only to be defeated with massive casualties, a move planned by the Emperor to prevent the vassal states from exploiting the Empire's depleted military. While Emperor Molt decides to postpone a possible JSDF advance, Itami is assigned to lead the 3rd Recon unit, which was formed to survey nearby cities and points of interest. After passing by the village of Koda, the 3rd unit observes a massive fire dragon burning and destroying a settlement within the nearby forest. While looking for survivors, Itami finds an unconscious elf woman inside a well. Taking the elf with them, the 3rd unit returned to Koda, where the villagers decided to evacuate after learning of the fire dragon, with the help of the Japanese soldiers. Later, 2 mages, Lalela Lalina and her master Kato L. Altestin, join the group, which now includes all of the villagers. Hoping to take advantage of the situation, bandits attack the villagers, only to be slaughtered by Rory Mercury, an apostle of the dark god Emery. While escorting the refugees, Itami's party encounters Rory, who decides to accompany them as well. The fire dragon, on the other hand, appears and attacks the convoy, killing many villagers until the 3rd unit blows off one of its front legs with an anti-tank rocket, forcing it to retreat. After the 3rd unit parts ways with the villagers, Itami decides to take the remaining refugees, as well as Rory, the elf woman, and Lele, back to Alnus Hill. The 3rd Recon unit returns to Alnus Hill, which has been transformed into an advanced JSDF base, and Itami obtains permission to house the refugees. Meanwhile, the Empire's Princess Pia Colada learns more about the JSDF's exploits and decides to investigate them personally. Back at Alnus, the refugees adjust to their new lives among the Japanese soldiers, but for some reason, Tukaluna Morso, the elf girl, keeps requesting supplies not only for herself but also for another, unidentified male who is not listed among the guests. Recognizing that they cannot continue to rely on the JSDF's generosity, Lele points out that they can collect scales from the corpses of dragons killed by the JSDF, which will sell for a good price in local markets. Meanwhile, on the other side of the gate, the Japanese Diet requests an audience with Itami to discuss the battle against the fire dragon. However, by the time Itami is summoned, he has already left with Rory, Lele, Tuka, and the rest of the 3rd unit to trade the collected dragon scales in the city of Italica, where Pia and her knights are also heading in search of more information about the JSDF. Itami's party arrives in Italica just as the city's forces, led by Princess Pia, repel an invading bandit force comprised of deserters from the armies defeated at Alnus. Pia is in a predicament until she meets the 3rd Recon unit, knowing that her knights and the local militia lack the strength to keep the bandits at bay until help arrives. Upon being informed of the situation, Itami decides to help defend the city and agrees with Pina's plan of positioning himself and his soldiers on the least guarded side of the walls, the south gate, to act as a decoy. However, the enemy does not fall for their trap and launches an attack on the main force at the east gate instead. As the city's defenses are broken, the princess finds herself on the verge of despair. Rory, Itami, and 2 of his subordinates, Akira Tomita and Shino Kurabayashi, travel to Pia's location in order to assist her men. Meanwhile, the JSDF dispatches a helicopter unit to aid the 3rd Recon unit in defending Italica, which arrives just in time, blasting Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries from loudspeakers and easily defeating the invaders. After Lele sells the dragon scales and Itami has negotiated with Pia and the Italians for rather minor compensation terms in exchange for retaining their sovereignty, the 3rd Recon unit returns to Alnus Hill, only to be met by Pia's Order of the Rose Knights. Upon discovering their identities as JSDF members, the Knights take Itami captive, unaware of the peace treaty he and Pina just established. In order to avoid further conflict, Itami orders his unit to leave without him instead of fighting, leaving himself at the Knights' mercy. Back in Italica, Pina reprimands her knights Bozes and Panache for capturing Itami, fearing that the JSDF will use the incident as an excuse to retaliate for breaking the treaty. While the formal family staff tends to Itami's wounds, Rory, Lele, Tuka, and some of the 3rd unit return to Italica to rescue Itami but are greeted by the formal maids and invited to join Itami for a small socializing party. Meanwhile, Pia instructs Bozes to sleep with Itami in the hopes of earning his forgiveness, but Bozes becomes enraged and assaults Itami after witnessing him having fun and seemingly ignoring her. Appalled that Bozes might have antagonized Itami further, Pina and Bozes join the 3rd Recon unit's trip back to Alnus Hill to personally apologize to Itami's superiors for Bozes' actions. While Pina and Bozes meet with Itami's commanding officer Lieutenant General Hazama with Lele as an interpreter, Itami invites Tuka to come with him to Japan to meet the Japanese Diet as a representative of the special region. The next day, Itami, Shino, and Akira accompany Rory, Lele, Tuka, Pina, and Bozes through the gate to Japan. Itami and his group arrive in Tokyo, where Pina and the others' girls are awed by the city and its people. Itami, Rory, Lele, and Tuka visit the Japanese Diet after meeting with a public security agent named Kamikado, while Pia and Bozes meet with members of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to discuss the details of the upcoming peace talks. Itami, Rory, Lele, and Tuka are questioned in the Japanese Diet by the chairwoman of the Fire Dragon Investigation Committee, who accuses the JSDF of failing to protect the refugees killed by the Fire Dragon. Rory, Lele, and Tuka defend the JSDF, recounting how the Japanese soldiers aided in the rescue of many people from the monster. Afterward, both Itami's and Pina's groups reunite in the subway to escape from the press and a mysterious group that seems to be targeting the special region girls. Due to a mole leaking their itinerary, Itami makes a change of plans and brings the group to stay with his ex-wife. Itami tells his ex-wife Risa about everything, and she agrees to help him by taking Rory, Lele, and Tuka shopping the next day, while Akira takes Pia and Bozes to the library after both of them express an interest in boys' love manga from Risa. Meanwhile, Itami meets with an old friend, Defense Minister Kanutaru, who orders him to transport the special region visitors to a hot spring inn guarded by the Japanese SFG. While the SFG identifies two of the Black Ops operatives as Americans, the Japanese Prime Minister is blackmailed by the U.S. President, who wants the SFG to stop attacking his Black Ops team so they can take the special region guests with them. The Prime Minister orders Teru to tell his men to stand down, but not before revealing that he will be resigning to void the president's leverage. As the three ops teams head to the inn, Itami encounters a drunken and aroused Rory. Rory's attempts to seduce Itami are interrupted by a phone call from Teru. When the U.S. Black Ops team arrives at the inn, they are met by two rival teams from Russia and China, resulting in a three-way firefight that Rory quickly joins, ending with everyone except Rory dead. Itami's group returns to Ginza after stealing a van from the Russians, but Risa posts on the internet that the special region girls will be visiting the Ginza Memorial, fearing that the foreign agents will attack again. As a result, a large crowd gathers at Ginza to meet the girls, foiling the foreign agents' plans to kidnap them. All foreign agents on the scene are apprehended inconspicuously by public security, and after Shino publicizes the previous kidnapping attempts on live TV through her news reporter sister Nanami, the US, Chinese, and Russian leaders cancel the kidnapping operation. After saying goodbye to Risa and paying their respects at the Ginza Memorial, the special region girls return to the gate. Realizing the Empire's war with Japan will lead to its destruction, Pina makes plans to head back to the capital to arrange peace talks between both sides. 5 months after the gate opened, the Alnus refugee camp has grown into a town and trading center for earth goods. At the imperial capital, Pia introduces Koji Sugawara, the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs' new ambassador to the empire, to Lord Cicero, one of the empire's most powerful pro-war nobles, and secures his cooperation with the peace talks in exchange for the release of his nephew, who is currently imprisoned in Japan. Tuka returns to Alnus, still searching for her father and refusing to accept that he is no longer alive. As Itami and his friends discuss their concern for Tuka in a tavern, Kirikawa claims that they must make her face the truth, but Itami objects, certain that they cannot be responsible for Tuka forever. Left alone with Rory, Itami keeps drinking with her until a dark elf woman by the name of Yao Hadusher appears and, mistaking Rory for a child, reprimands Itami for giving her alcohol. With her plans to spend the night with Itami ruined, an annoyed Rory mischievously plays along with the Dark Elf's misunderstanding, forcing Itami to flee. The next day, as she prepares to visit the JSDF base at Alnus, Itami heads toward the imperial capital. Yao's initial attempts to seek assistance from the JS soldiers do not speak the local language, and she is arrested by General Hazama tells Yao that he cannot help her because her home, Schwartz Forest, is in the Elba Kingdom, which is outside the Empire's borders. With Yao distraught over the news, some soldiers sympathize with her, and Lieutenant Akira Yanagita suggests that Yao seek help from Itami. In other news, Itami gives Pina a yaoi doujin translated by Bozes and Panache, which, unknown to him, contains newspaper clippings hoping to achieve peace between both sides. Lele narrates that the war is far from over. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this video.